Let's talk about things, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish.
Well, goodness sakes. Hello, hello. Happy to see everybody here. Hey, Jay will be along, I assume. Looking for her. I'm sure she'll be here. In short order. Mighty Mike. Yeah, that's a nice video. We had a group of videos that a producer in England did. He worked under the name Aquatic Conquest. He did probably, I don't know, a dozen videos for us. And then immediately following the 2020 election, he was very distraught about that and immediately disappeared. We've tried to contact him, have not been able to. Very disappointed, very sad. Pray for him and hope that he's okay. Xanadu, hello, Xanadu. Charlie Pollock, Cheryl Pollock. I'm sorry, I do that every time. Cheryl, hello, Sherry. My eyes are getting bad. Sherry Pollock. Let's see, and Sherry, you do not have a wrench. And I know I've added you before, so probably you need to sign up as a subscriber to my channel in order to be able to keep that wrench. Aaron Relentless. Thank you so much, Aaron. And the same to you. Be sure you're signed up, subscribe to the Fatherfish channel. Otherwise, you won't be able to keep your wrench. Like that. First class fish. Thank you very much, Fanaticals. Yeah, I'm happy to be back. Happy to be here. Got out and did some shopping today. I was amazed how much I spent. I don't think I've ever spent that much. And I quit halfway through. We have a big Acme here, wonderful store. I got halfway through it and gave it up. I had too much in the basket. And it turned out to be nearly $200. I don't think I've ever spent that much before. But I'm set for the rest of the month, at the very least. So that's good, I guess. I am having one problem. I think I've got a blood clot. They put a port in right here on my arm, and it hurt terribly. It was in for like 3 days. And today it's swollen and hard. So I don't know. It's a little warm. If it's not better tomorrow, I guess I'll have to go over to the hospital and have them deal with it. That was an ordeal. Mary Page. What is she saying here? Yeah, it was a scare. What's going on here? Oh, Mike spent the day with his son and family. 24th birthday, nice. Xanadu. An agent at Tetras, Stream, hope you're well. Loving the Northeast. Love the song, Come Lee. It is wonderful. It absolutely is. Comfortable surroundings. I am very comfortable here. I think it'll be fine. I've just got to build some stamina so I can get out and do some things. I'm looking. Mary had a big comment, and I can't find it. Let's see. Still working. Just tuned in. So lurking. Okay, that's. Yeah, first class. Everything is horribly expensive. I think I got all the comments. How are I? Crown Tail Half Moon. Weak, but feeling pretty good. I've not suffered any pain or particular discomfort. This is the first thing, and this actually has gotten worse in the last few hours. It's gotten puffy and hard. So I don't know what's going on. They put a very painful port in. It hurt from the time they put it in to the entire time it was in, which was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 4 days. 4 days they had that port in. And it hurt every minute of the time it was in. And then failed. So I don't know. Just one more thing to worry about. Got a bunch of videos will be coming out in the next couple of days that are taken primarily from Saturday night's live stream. There was a Sunday night, rather, from Sunday night. I think that's right. Yeah, last Sunday night. There was a lot of content I kind of gave up after a while. I could have done a few more, but didn't. I think there's one really good one left there. I should go back and double check just to make sure. Gee, wonder where EJ is. I'm gonna call her up and say. She does have. Be up in a second. It says here at 8 o'clock. Okay. We'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's see. Mary's saying hello to everybody. Jimmy P. Thank you so much, Jimmy. It's good to be back home. You know, this is a new place for me to be living. My landlord came in today. He looked around and he said, "Boy, you need a bigger house. You got too much stuff." And he's about right. I don't know if I can really show you much. Probably not much. Let me try to move this camera a little. Give you a bit of a view. This is the living room. Got the door open. That black cabinet in the corner is going to get a fish tank on it. But I have to move. There's an AC unit in that window. So that's coming out. And then I've got 4 tanks here. And then this is a secretary that you can't see because I can't get in front of it. But that's the living room. And I'm sitting in a corner in the kitchen. And I'm very unhappy with this setup because I want to have a fish tank in the background. I haven't figured out how to do it yet. I'll figure it out, I guess. I probably need to move this whole operation into the living room and maybe get rid of. I've got a big recliner, a monster recliner that I think I'm just going to get rid of and probably put a desk there in front of that computer. I mean, in front of that aquarium and use that as the background. I think that's what I'm going to wind up doing. It'll kind of break up the room in a funny way, and then I'll put a table here, just a full table. May even continue to use this as a desk, but I think I probably won't. What I might do is move my microscopes in here and use this, excuse me, as a workstation. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I haven't figured it out yet. Let's see. Anywho. Oh. Can't get rid of it. If I go back this way, we're looking at the bathrooms. I don't want to do that particularly. Yeah, it's not a good location. I think I need to change the location. There she is.
Hi.
Hi there. How are you?
Good. I might have taken a 2-hour bath today.
Oh, really? Oh, how nice.
Well, that was after getting my, wandering around in turtle.
Yeah,
shit.
you were in a muck hole all morning, weren't you?
Yeah. So at my kids' school, they have this little atrium. I'm gonna find pictures, but they have this little atrium where they have this. They originally, like a few years ago, had this turtle pond, and it only had a couple. It's red ear sliders, and at one point they had goldfish, but then this one pump went kaput. So then they just kind of kept the one and made it a little bit smaller, and then it's kind of eroded in, and everything is just, at the end of the day, it just became a mud puddle. And so I put together a budget and drew up a design, and we got funding for it. And so today we cleaned it up, the area. But when I got there, apparently the last pump had gone out and the water was foul, very foul. And we knew we had to drain that thing immediately. And we brought in some of those little $10 kiddie pools. And I brought a bunch of hornwort and duckweed, because you know they love that stuff. And we got the turtles out. Nothing else survived. I don't even know if all the turtles survived, but we've got babies. They're like this big.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Well, that's pretty cool.
yes, it is. And I have somebody knocking on the door.
Huh.
Oh, it's a package. Never mind.
Yo.
So that was my day. And so I get home, and my daughter's with me. My son's camping. So I get home and I'm literally covered from head to toe in turtle muck, because we had to drain the pond, find all of them. There is a ton of dragonfly larvae in there. But yeah, how was your day?
Well, pretty good. I went shopping.
Mm-hmm.
And I got halfway through the store and just quit. I had so much in my cart. I knew I was already way over.
Yeah.
So halfway through, and I just checked out. So I got home. That was kind of a big deal for me because I walked through the whole store, and was feeling, pretty weak, able to hold on to the cart. So I did it. I got it home, got everything put away. I did get a bit of a nap in, I think. And I'm having a problem now. My arm is
It
getting
looks
tight.
swollen.
It is. Yeah, they put a port in here on Monday, and it was horribly painful for like 4 days straight. They finally took it out, and today it's hot and swelling. So I don't know what that means. But if it doesn't get better, I'm gonna have to go back over to the hospital.
Yeah, you've got some fluid in there. Keep it elevated.
Well, it might be a clot, is what I'm thinking.
I hope not. A clot? Didn't they just take you off of blood thinners?
They put me back on half of what I was on before. So I'm back on blood thinners. But this was just, it was a nasty port, and it failed. I had 6 different ports in me, and every one of them failed.
Forgive me. What are ports? Or are you that you?
It's where they put a needle in and leave it in order to be able to deliver whatever they're.
The fluids or
All of that, right?
yeah.
I had three whole blood transfusions. 2 of which I think were in this arm, maybe all 3 of them, actually. So
You had a lot of blood transfusions.
it's not real hot, but it's warm and it's sore. So I don't know what that means. It's like hard. Let's see. Let's see if the hardness goes above the scar.
You've given us a scare this week, so please don't do that.
Yeah. Here.
Yeah, please don't do that. I'm trying to find photos of when I first. I'm gonna have to probably get on a different one, but I'm trying to find photos of the turtle pond. We didn't get great pictures today. I just dove right in. I absolutely just dove right in, and I got a lot of stuff all over me.
Right.
But we did get some pictures today, and so that's why I'm like trying to find some. But I'm a little bit more concerned about you getting, you know, like do you have a doctor or a nurse on standby you can call?
No, I really don't. I don't have any. I haven't established any relationships yet. I was
Okay.
on my way in
Uh-huh.
last Monday to see my heart doctor for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to go to the hospital instead.
Well, that's a little bit of a side trip.
Yeah, that lasted 4 days. It was Monday through Friday. So, yeah, I have an appointment scheduled for the mid-October
Uh-huh.
for a general, and then another one later in the month to get back to my heart doctor. So it is what it is.
Drive suggested. I am trying to find the document that I want. Well, I mean, I'm trying to show the pictures, but I can't see. They're supposed to be on here somewhere. I know where they are. They're in my Gmail, and then I was going to show. All right, we found pictures. Open with, connect more apps. No. It's in one folder. I know it. I'm sorry. And hi, everybody. I love you all. I'm trying to get pictures up so you guys can kind of see where the what we were doing today. And I'm probably going to have to go. I mean, we're going to go back until it's finished. So I'm just trying to enlarge the pictures. All right. Come on. Oh, I can use my fingers. All right. So I'm. What? I can use my fingers.
Yeah, I think they are dirty pictures. From what she's saying, she got real dirty. It's.
We didn't get. I didn't get any
It's a
pictures of.
butthole.
I didn't get any pictures of me getting dirty, I guess. But all right. Do you see this?
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
little blurry. I apologize. So I'm gonna go back and forth because I can't really see what the StreamYard sees. But this is what was left of the turtle pond right here. We see those kids standing by. They're all like, I was trying. It was like herding cats, you know. And I was literally very bossy, but fortunately none of the parents minded. So this is the atrium, and it goes, you know, from one side of the school to the other. You can probably see more.
So it's an enclosed area.
Yes, and there's
Not,
two of them, and there's two of them.
wow.
But this one, and if you see this, that's where the turtles. We ended up getting 3 plastic ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the side where the turtle pond is on, and I've already been through here, and I've already kind of, like last spring we did a major cleanup, which I organized, and we got a lot of those things kind of. We had to come back because everything was cleaned up last spring, but then over the summer we got weeds. There isn't a whole lot of, and if you see here, that's on this side, and it's literally about 25 feet. From this side, if you see past that lady, I know it's blurry, forgive me, and it keeps going. Like, here's the better part. I'm assuming you guys can see what I'm doing when I'm moving this around, because I can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Okay, so it literally can start at the, kind of almost was like a sidewalk, and then there's like a little bit of calla lilies, right? This is where I'm moving it. Door, windows right here, like windows, but right there's a sidewalk, and it's kind of where it starts there, and then it just keeps going going, you know. It keeps going till like, you see, all the way over here. You see this. And this part over here, this back part over there, if you see the bush behind there, it used to be 2 ponds. That one's dried up because the pump broke, which, by the way, I took home because I think I can fix. And then this is the second part, and they kind of like tried to use like a little plastic container and sort of like have the water circulating, and then they use a hose to fill it up occasionally. And it was just really sad looking. So what I did is, and I'm going to try to find the schematic, is I put together a almost like well, it was a handwritten drawing. I wish I could have done it in AutoCAD, but I didn't have the program. But essentially I took this whole, it's about a 25, I'm making it 19 by 14 square feet. And I'm going to basically use a preformed, right there is, oops, I'm just hoping nobody sees the bad pictures. Right there where that leafy thing is, that plant is a preformed pond. And I'm going to use that as sort of the fountain where and at the end of this right here, I know it's fuzzy, but that's actually an electrical outlet that we managed to make a live wire. If you see that, it's kind of like where, you know, where that wooden thing is past there, and then it's those tree stumps. So I'm going to have to end up putting the skimmer and the pump right there. And then we're going to have to dig a trench, and it's going to be a 3-inch diameter. I mean, we're talking the pump that I had, that we got the grant for. It's 5,300 gallons per hour pump. It's pretty powerful. And I'm planning on making this about 2 feet deep with a shelf at least about 8 inches. And some of the stuff around there is a natural shelf. And I know that the thing that I'm not, here we go. And that's, by the way, that's where we started putting the turtles. We found about 10 of them. Like these are the kids today. They were, you know, they had a lot of fun. But you can see that's an atrium, and it's around all sides. There isn't a lot of sun. It's relatively, it's relatively,
probably 2 hours. Probably
what?
2 hours of sun when it's directly overhead.
Probably about 4 in the summer, but as it gets towards the winter, less than that. But the turtles are healthy, and okay, we can take. I don't want. Yeah. All right. Sorry. The turtles are healthy. They had babies about the size of quarters. We found about 5 of them.
Wow, nice.
No, Scott. We still use AutoCAD in construction. Sorry. No offense. They got the 2022 version, and the University of Houston still uses AutoCAD. I know there's other drawing programs. I've seen some other drawing programs. They're pretty amazing, but I'm sorry, man. Here in Texas, that's the way to go. If you want to do a 3D design for a building or what have you, it's AutoCAD all the way. So I've actually been able to play with the 2022 version. It's pretty neat. So dating myself. Scott said I was dating myself with AutoCAD. They do teach AutoCAD as a basic for drawing program at the University of Houston. And I know that there's others out there, but frankly, all the major construction companies still use CAD.
So Mighty Mike is asking if you need permits or inspections, given the fact that there's electricity at the site.
So it's a 100-year-old school. It's a middle school. Because the funding was gotten through the PTA, it was granted through the PTA. So we got to bypass a lot of red tape. Don't ask me how it works. It does. Because a lot of it just simply comes from fundraising and parent involvement and volunteers.
Yeah, I think the issue was the electricity going to the water.
Yes. That was kind of already there. That little.
So you need to make sure that you've got a cutoff switch at the box,
At the
so
box,
that if it
there is.
shorts out,
It's an official
it'll.
outdoor switch. They have a person on staff who, or that we call handyman on staff, who actually is licensed to be able to do that,
Okay.
Yeah. The only issue we had was that we had a freeze in February 2021. It killed most of those trees at the school, especially ones in the atrium, all the palm trees. And they were a hazard, and that required having to go to the school, the school board to take care of. And of course, they were taking their sweet time. So when I came in and said, "Hey, let's redo the atrium, let's redo the turtle pond." Actually, I assessed the atrium because there's two of them, and I looked at it, and I just told them point blank, it would be cheaper to just simply level it out and kind of make a decent looking grounds. That's what I told them. And they're like, "No, we want to keep the turtles." I'm like, "Okay, so now we're looking at about $5,000.
Well, it's going to be nice. It'll be very nice.
It will be. I'm trying to find the schematic. If I can find the schematic real quick, bear with me.
Sketty, how are you? Nice
Yeah.
to see you, Zachary. Zachary, John S. Who else is here? Scott, Fanaticals.
People.
Mighty Mike. Mary Page.
Pond. How come I can't find? Please don't look at what I'm doing. What I'm trying to do is find the. There's a Google Doc that I shared with the team, and we're supposed to have shared everything. But you know what? I'll just find it in my email. That just makes it so much easier. Just don't look at my emails. I have like 50,000 emails that I haven't even.
Yeah, I saw that. Actually, we got 21,000 pictures too.
Yeah,
that.
I do have a lot. I have a hard time. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, I have.
My husband says I make the worst criminal because I leave a paper trail everywhere I go.
Yeah, that's all my pictures.
Yeah. Come on, work with me here, baby. Work with me. Now I had to update. I'm updating the schematic mostly because here we go. Now we're back to StreamYard, and I can add it to the stream. So this is page 1 of 2. Open with Google Docs. Thank you. Okay, so, and I drew this by hand, so forgive me if it looks kind of sad. Why is it not loading? It's not loading. Okay, that's not going to work. Then we'll just stick with this. So this is
Aaron Relentless and his wife are moving from Texas to Virginia. Yeah, in December.
Who is moving from Texas to Virginia?
Aaron Relentless.
Oh, Aaron Relentless. Oh, Aaron. Well, we're in inner city, so apparently they, yeah, okay, so I have a weird history. I was born in Texas. I have ties to Canada. I lived in Canada for I went to high school and school in Canada for about 10 years, and then I came back down because I realized that I could make a living down here where I couldn't make a living up north without having all of my money being taken away by the government. And I didn't, yeah. Anyways, I worked my way out of poverty. It was, I'm very proud of that. Anyways, so it's rough sketch, but this was the original design. And then where is the second page? Right here. And this is the side of it. Now, I'm having to, this is where the skimmer is. This is where I'm like this. I'm actually reusing a lot of materials. So this is a preformed little pond kind of it's like a small preformed turtle pond, and I'm elevating it on this side right here. And this, I'm moving this around because eventually I want to turn that into a bog filter. And so eventually the idea is that the water flows from there and then it goes across to the skimmer, which will have, and that's where the pump is, and that's where the skimmer's at the on the left hand side, and there's like a basket that's going to carry all the debris. Now the mistake I made is I decided that I don't want I didn't realize at the time, so I've taken a couple of classes since then, but we really need a better shelf. So that shelf that looks like a little hole in the middle, that actually needs to be expanded to around the side. So there's literally going to be like a seat all the way around. Also, due to some of the now I'm looking at better some of the physical restraints. Now we've gotten into the I've gotten my hands in the dirt. There's some things in the dirt that I can't change. Like this is a 100-year-old building. There's like on the right hand side of there is like a copper pipe of some kind, and I can't I can't disturb it. So it's going to be it's not going to be as wide as 14, 15 feet. It's going to be closer to 13 feet because there's just no other way. Also, I'm going to have to use the flex pipe hose, the flexible pipe hose, and it's going to have to go in on the other side. It's going to be buried on the other side. But then this preformed pond, and I'm going to have a bunch of stones, and I'm going to be plugging some of the holes with pond foam so that it really will go through. And essentially, it's going to hit. It's supposed to go from one end to the other, and that's how the water's going to flow. And it's supposed to be, that's the idea, how it's supposed to be pretty smooth that way. I'm going to.
Very good. Well, thank you very much. That looks like it's going to be a great project. We'll be excited.
Yeah.
We'll
The only thing is today when I was
along. Yeah. First class fish says he has a possible disaster that he needs help with. Why don't you come on up, first class? Let me post a link.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I went over long about it all. First class, what kind of disaster are we talking about here?
Let me put a link in. Give me a chance to come up and see what's going on.
Look, don't be afraid to come up. Look, we're all friends here. Trust me. I know a lot of people are a little shy to come up, and it's okay. I mean, we want to see what's going on with your, I guess, details of the disaster. So we're just waiting for you to come on up, but I'm so sorry. I came in and I just started talking about me, and then I know you just got back from the hospital and you got a ton of food. What kind of food did you get, by the way?
I don't know. Filler. I did get a couple of steaks. Just, all the little stuff. A bunch of fruit, some cheese, some vegetables, drinks, a lot of fruit. Pudding, cream cheese, steaks. What else? I didn't get any fish. My freezer's about full, so I didn't need more of that. Got some seafood salad.
Yeah.
It's, this, a little this and a little that. I bought a bunch of cheese, pasta, cheesy pasta sauces, cream pasta, which I normally don't get. Excuse me. No, I did not get beets, Corey.
I have a hard time with beets. I do. I have a hard time with beets. It's awful.
Okay, first class has a link.
Yeah, I know Scott's coming up. I see him in the background with you.
Scott.
Yeah. Oops.
Howdy ho, y'all.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing? What a great job you're doing at that school, EJ. Just keep rocking it, okay?
It's mostly because I have to find an outlet. My husband's going to kill me. I don't have any more room.
Trust me, I know the feeling. I only got about a week left here, and I'm going to Europe anyway.
Yeah.
There was somebody about a few minutes ago. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
About deep substrates. You know how easy it is to do a deep substrate? It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, he's asking about Loikia and how he can get it red. And I've got that red Loikia, and it never turned fully red for me.
Okay.
But it had red. You know what? Forgive me.
You probably just put a lot more light on it. I don't know what you do, but that's okay.
A strong light, light with that deep substrate.
With red. We have a lot, like we're up just north of the Texas border, just north of the Red River. I know you're down in Houston and stuff like that. Have you brought, just a question for you, EJ, have you brought your stuff inside yet for that big, I call it your tub tank that's outside?
Oh, my patio pond?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a story behind that. I had baby flagfish in there. It was awesome. And then I made a huge mistake.
Okay.
There was a built-in pond that I thought I would be able to do something with, and I turned it on thinking that it wasn't as hot anymore. And what ended up happening is it ended up taking all of the mud and the compost, and it turned it went into the water column, and it turned the water foul.
Oh, so
within 24 hours, it killed all the fish in there. I'm on the phone with Father Fish, and I'm crying, and I'm going, because I had to drain the whole darn thing. It killed a lot of my water lettuce, which is fine.
Okay.
Water lettuce is just
I got it.
Crazy. So what I ended up doing, and actually I'll probably post pictures but what I ended up doing is I ended up, putting more sand in there to cover up that, and forget that pump in there. It's garbage. I just buried it.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. So this is that underneath tank. All these guppies actually. Oh my God, my dog is trying to play with us at the same time. But
listen, guys, we got two people who are screaming for attention here.
Okay.
We're not getting to them, and they need to do this.
All right. So you want to pop off?
Yeah, I'm going to shut you down, Scott.
That's all right. I'll see you when I'm in Europe, and I can send you some pictures in Europe of some really beautiful tanks.
Yeah, I'll shut up too. We got to take care of these folks.
All right. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
We started dealing with this. And I assume what's happening is that you're not getting the red. It's difficult to do unless you have extreme lighting. It can be done. EJ has done it in her tanks.
Yeah, I'm grabbing them.
Do you want to show us your?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of working with some new stuff, but I'm grabbing some of my Loikia. They're not as red as they used to be, but I'm going to grab some Rotella real quick.
So far as the CO2 is concerned, that begins to function virtually immediately because that deep substrate is creating a CO2 environment, and a rather strong one. It takes a while, though, for that whole thing to come together because the roots have to develop first, and then it develops the frame of the plant. That's the stems and the leaves. And then it goes through a change in photosynthesis, which creates an environment where it begins to fruit. Now, the fruiting and plants that that flower and produce seed is unique from color, but color amounts to the same thing. So it's going to take longer for it to get there. Some plants, like these guys that she's showing us here, they color up instantly.
So this is the, I hope the camera can show it. This is bright red rotella, bright red. You can't, gosh, they're gorgeous under the light. It's completely red. Now, normally without the proper CO2, it kind of goes a little green, but not these. These have gone completely bright red. It was the deep substrate as well as a bright light. This is one of my tiger lotus bulb. This is bright pink. It's hard to see because I just took them out just to show y'all. But this was bright red under the light in the sun in the aquarium.
Now you get a little bit of direct sunlight in that tank.
I do, though not as much because now that it's starting to shift. Now, this started off as bright red. This is my red Luigia. I've got more red ones. These are just the ones I grabbed. When I had these outside and I started growing them immersed, what would end up happening, because this is what, see, they're kind of...
Yeah, Luigia is probably the toughest plant to keep the color on.
Yeah, it is.
Its light requirements are direct sunlight, 8 to 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
And you just can't duplicate that.
And this is red too.
It's got some red in it, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is though, is that the taller it gets, so they go really red in small and shorter tanks because the light gets to them, gets more to them. What I found is that when the taller they get, they start to lose the leaves on the bottom as well, and then they climb to the light. And so what I end up doing is I find that they're really good for shorter tanks with a bright light in a deep substrate. But I mean, like this rotella, they told me it would only ever be this bright pink. They told me it would, and believe, I know the light's not giving it a good justice here.
No, it looks great. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, they told me it would never be this bright pink, and it looks great in the water unless I had a CO2 system. And you know what? In some cases, actually, you know, some of the rotella that wasn't as close to the light, it went to more like a dull pink. But the ones that were closest to the light with the deep substrate remained bright pink. And then every time I cut the clippings and I replant them, they continue to be bright pink.
All right, let's get over to
yes,
First Class Fish.
Yes,
he has posted. I
was reading that.
Posted a link here.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we'll just have to read it. He's in a garden apartment, so he gets some insects. Really? Survive in tiny things. I don't know what the issue is here.
Hold on, I was reading it. Just don't make me get on the camera because I'm wearing shorts. You know how it is. When you're on a live stream, the only thing they really care about is what you look like from the top up. Are they, what's the size of these? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I don't know what the issue is. Um, First class fish, you're going to have to do some input here.
That's not midge larvae. That's definitely not midge larvae. That's some sort of detritus. It's some sort of detritus worm. By the way, beta shrimp will not eat all the cherry shrimp. Ask me how I know. They're not midge larvae. That I know.
Do bleach or vinegar affect the silicone sealant on tanks? That's sketchy. Vinegar is a mild acid, and that will not affect it. Bleach will because it burns it.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of vinegar. It's a base. So it's like having a pH of 15 or 20 or something. So yeah, that can affect.
Where does this start? Okay. Okay, I'm reading it. What the heck is this? I've never personally seen algae like this. It appeared a few days after increasing the lighting on my aqua sky by about 10%. It seems to are these float? It says a lot of these. Is it these things that are floating? It's probably your plants that are floating. It's newly cycled, still getting settled. Parameters are good. Gets the ferts. Diatoms, but that's, that comes with every new setup, honestly, and almost everything eats diatoms. Like every algae eater loves the diatom. Buse, nice. I love buse. This stuff seemingly appeared overnight and spread very quickly. Is this like an algae, or is this like a...
What are you? I don't even know what you're reading. What are you reading?
I'm reading at urgent help, please. Bug infestation. The top part of it.
Who?
It says first class fish.
Friday. Oh, okay.
Friday is
infestation. I see.
I'm reading this. No moths in my apartment, and that's what lays these. I'm trying to figure out the problem with this post. And by the way, I've read through these before. I sometimes have trouble figuring out who says what because there's a lot of advice in here. You've written a whole story. It's
give a timestamp on that.
Yeah, it's Friday of well, I mean, this is the UK, so it's Friday at 9:38 in the morning. Beta probably wouldn't bother a full-size one. I'm going to tell you right now that beta fish are not as devastating to Neocaridina shrimp as a lot of people seem to think, as long as they have plenty of places to hide. Now, that being said, a placket beta, those things, yeah, maybe not. Half moon, though, those things are a joke. I'm trying to find... Okay, so... You said, okay, so is this what I want to know here when you pull up that thing? Is this the picture of the plants, first class? Is that your picture? That's what I want to know. It looks like you've got some Luigia in there. I see a little bit of, looks like water sprite. And are you talking about these black lines? Cherries can't go in there. I tried that experiment and the beta harasses even the bigger ones. Yeah, okay, so it's a beta fish. Could do a pleco, but they're more interested. You know what, it's possible you might be dealing with cyanobacteria.
You can turn, there's a little button at the bottom on the screen.
Yeah.
That will reverse the camera. is asking about reversing the camera.
Oh. Yeah, reverse the camera so that you can see it. Yes. It's under the, if you're doing it with your phone, it's under the general settings. Post post another, Father Fish, can you post a link again?
Yeah.
And, oh, I'm sorry, as I'm going through this thread, people are adding 2 cents in here that has absolutely nothing to do with the help that he's asking. Somebody's now judging him because his beta fish is in a 5-gallon container of some kind. Sorry, man.
Yeah, that was not on this chat. That was
No.
on the link he posted.
Yeah, the problem is I'm trying to garden apartment, so do get some insects. The only flying things have been tiny black, which appears to be fruit flies or similar. Again, no midges. But now everybody's like bothering him about a beta not being able to thrive in a 5-gallon. So that's kind of, dude, I'm sorry. People are weird. Just bought more. Oh, look, he's got more aquariums. He says he just bought 5 aquariums. Oh, multiple tank syndrome. First class. Okay. Oh, wait, no, we did it at the same time. All right. Hi.
All right. Hey, is it working?
Yes, it's working.
Okay.
We don't need to see your faces, although I'm sure your face is lovely, but I know you're shy. So let's see what you got.
Yeah, I'm actually not in the UK, but that's one of the better forums that's active. So I posted on there. Yeah, this is like pennywort, and it is the black squiggly lines I was talking about.
Yeah. Do they move?
No, they rub off.
They rub off. So when you touch them, they just kind of like disintegrate?
Yeah. See?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
That's algae.
Yeah, but what kind?
I also posted on Alex's group, and one guy had almost identical looking stuff that he gets between his sponge filter and the glass, and he thinks it's like some sort of chain bacteria. And then, as you saw, a couple people said this is midge larvae, and I don't have any midges in the house. I do get these tiny fruit flies, but this is like just 1 or 2. Like I saw 1 today, and this stuff literally just was overnight.
Yeah. And you said it. The only thing you changed was increasing the light.
Yes, and so it was about maybe 4 days after the light increase.
Yeah, see what it does. It'll either go away or it'll get worse.
Yeah, that's what
it'll go away. If it gets worse, then
is it slimy?
I can't tell really. I don't think so.
It's not big enough. It's not enough.
On the side of the tub. You can even see. Here's the boost, and this is why, for one, I can't afford to lose all this boost, and it's been a journey to keep them this healthy. And look, it's all over them.
Oh, dude, you might have. That might be the beginnings of that. Honey, that's a pond snail. We like pond snails because they eat hydra. Yeah, we like pond snails. Sorry, my daughter was handing me a snail to feed to the pea puffers.
No problem.
Okay, so that looks like maybe the beginning of Blackbeard.
What, pardon, EJ?
Oh, I was just saying, I've got some back here, right here. I had to do some trimming the other day, and there's heavy nitrates in here. And so I've got some Blackbeard algae in there, and of course they love the Buse and the Anubias. They just do.
Is this a very distinct line? Like at first I thought it was algae that was in grooves of the leaves, but now that I see that it
looks like it might be the beginning of Blackbeard
on the bottom of the tank like that, and just all over the leaves. And then I can give you one more example. Like
it's not Blackbeard. Blackbeard would be on the edge, and it would be hard. This
That's
is like
true.
a slime. This is like a slime algae.
Is it slimy, or does it look like hair?
Well, it wipes off.
I think it kind of it more crumbles.
Crumples? Yeah, that's not. So it doesn't feel slimy. It just sort of
Yeah, see,
crumples
moves
off.
right off.
Oh, Father Fish, do you think that's cyno?
Yeah, I do actually.
Let me show you one other example. This is the other setup.
You can
Do some water changes
you can take
to
some of
get
the
the
plants out.
nitrate to get the nitrate level down. That should
Check out-
clear it up.
Check out this one. Okay, so this is the only spot it is in this tank is on the airline tubing, and it's lighter colored brown. Now, this picture makes it look almost exactly like the stuff the guy on Alex's site said when he said he thought it was bacteria related to detritus.
It's hard to see first class because of the splashing. Do you mind turning off the pump for a second and
No,
then
sorry.
getting close?
There's my this is the MRS setup for the boost for some other boost I have.
Mm-hmm.
That is supposedly Brownie Ghost, but I don't know.
Okay. So you're looking at.
See, I can wipe them right off.
Yeah, wipes off.
Now it's probably going to spread to the other parts of the tank.
It looks scummy. What do you think, Father Fish?
I think you need to do some water changes. We get the nitrate level down. You have excess nitrates in there.
You might be correct. The other one just cycled recently, and the Nite, it's only showing nitrates now. This one is still showing nitrite.
Yeah, if it's showing nitrate, then you've overwhelmed the system. So you're going to need, if you're putting food in there, stop doing it. If you're fertilizing, stop doing it.
Actually, this one gets like almost no food. It's just shrimp in here. They got food to start it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't put any food in at all. Do a couple of 25% water changes every 3 days, like twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
Get the nitrate level down. You need to get the ammonia out of there. The plants should be absorbing all that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But they're not.
No ammonia shows up in this one.
No, but it creates nitrites.
Yeah.
How new is that filter?
This been going about a month. I think I had a cycle break in this one though.
So it's just beginning to.
The other one is fine now.
Yeah, I guess your water level's low too. You could increase
right
the
up
water
to the
level.
top.
Oh, is it? I can't. Okay.
Well, I just got when a few very experienced people say they've never seen it, it makes you kind of scared. And I also didn't want. I'm in the middle of a move and all this stuff, and I like to trade and plants and stuff, and they're like, oh, it's no big deal, just I'm like, well, I'm not going to give it to someone else's.
Right. I've seen lots of it. It comes and it goes.
Okay, I'm glad you've seen it, Father Fish.
It's not going to hurt anything. Get the nutrition level down in the water. You got too much nutrition in the water.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a little bit of time for now. If it continues, then I'll think about something else. But yeah, I think what you're saying is kind of what I was going to do as a simple first line common sense
would you
line
recommend,
of action. So,
Father Fish, would you recommend putting some minerals in there to kind of raise the pH a bit?
No. I think that's part of the problem. I think the water's got too much. The water is not salt enough. So it's got too much nutrition in it.
Okay.
And even though there are a lot of plants there, it's not enough to take care of all of it. It's not creating a a complete sink, which is why the algae is completing the sink. So the way to deal with that then is to reduce the nutrient level in the water column, and that will obviate the need for algae to to do what the plants are not able to do.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. It's interesting. I hope it helps someone. The one guy was so sure it was, insect larvae. I'm like, well, it's not insects
Not
flying
at
around,
all.
so.
No, it's not.
If they're not moving.
What kind of fish do you have in there?
This one is just cherries. The other one is
Shrimp.
just
Yeah.
the betta placat.
Yeah, no, but yeah, bugs don't look like that.
Okay, I don't want to take up any
Aphids
more of your
don't look
time
like
and
that.
slow the stream
Yeah.
down. So thanks for taking a look at it at least, and hope
So
it
you
good
clears
luck.
up.
Listen,
Yeah.
so Mary, post the link to Discord. If you still have a problem, come on over to Discord. We've
Yeah,
got a lot of troubleshooters there.
Yeah, I joined on there. If this continues after I try a few things,
I
definitely
see.
hit you up again.
Yeah,
I see hornwort. I see what looks like some sort of crypt, long crypt. I see some pennywort.
Yeah,
That's
nice
the
plant.
pennywort. There's dwarf sag. Obviously, that's a lotus. There's two types of Anubias.
Gorgeous.
You said you have pennywort? Is that pennywort?
Yeah, I have yeah, it's just a golden pennywort.
Yeah.
I've trying it planted and floating. It's interesting. It's more of a house plant or garden plant or
Dude, I've been trying to get my hands on that. So if you know,
I'll be glad to send you some at some point.
I'd love to. They're perfect for shaded areas,
right?
For patio ponds, turtle ponds.
Yeah, just thinking about your turtles.
Yeah, but
I'm not sure what this guy is.
It looks like some sort of long.
Yeah, it's got a huge stem.
Yeah, it's got a huge stem. Looks like a long crypt. That's how I think I have one of those actually in my 20-gallon tall.
Person who gave it to me said it was African something or other.
Okay.
This stuff
that looks like hygro.
Is it a bulb?
Yeah, it's still transforming, so it doesn't look like normal.
That's a nice plant.
This is stem.
Like an Havana Jaden, maybe.
Yeah, this one, when it's close to the light, it gets nice and variegated.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
Yeah, I had this hygro that I managed to get it to grow from out of the water, immersed, and I even managed to put sunlight in it. And the leaves, when it grew out of the water, turned bright purple.
Oh wow!
And then I cut the purple part, and then I transplanted it into my deep substrate, and it stayed purple.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah.
Well, this one here, they said it's a hybrid that's unique to them. This, like under high light, it will get really purple. It was when I first got it. Underneath, you can kind of see that there's purple there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
But right now, like, because all this is temporary, a lot of it's just floating. And this Bacopa is kind of dying in the middle. The ends look good, but the middle is kind of not doing well.
Yeah, Bacopa is like it's like Ludwigia that way. It'll die down close to the base because it wants to immerse.
Yeah.
It wants to grow out of the water.
And just so I'm not boring everybody, would people want to see the immersed setup for the boost?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I managed to grow dwarf hairgrass immersed. I was pretty successful at it. And I sent you some fatherfish. How are they doing?
It's doing okay.
All right. So this, I learned this.
Oh my God, Kevin got licorice.
I know. I want some.
Oh,
yeah.
I have springtails too.
Cool.
So this I learned from a couple forum posts, and there's actually there's a guy on YouTube. who shows all about his bins that he does for immersed growth stuff.
Yeah.
Like his whole closet is full of them.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I want to say his name is Jay, but I'm not sure.
There's a couple guys, so
Yeah.
So what you do, at least how most people seem to recommend it. Now, I don't know why they don't do more of an aquaponic or a hydroponic. I don't know if that's somehow not as appropriate for boost. But for boost, everyone recommends fluval stratum on the bottom. Just any kind of Tupperware tub. You don't have to use saran wrap on the top. You could use just, the regular lid, but you might have to vent it to get some kind of air. And you want to open it up probably at least twice a week.
Yeah. I actually forgot about mine for a while. They did well.
Yeah, that's what everyone kind of says. Just varies how whatever kind of just have to play with it as far as that goes. This isn't ideal because it was just what I had laying around, one of these reusables. Now, what you do, the main thing I think that you want to kind of accomplish is I bought on Amazon, if you get stuff that's not aquarium related, it'll be cheaper. This lava rock on top of the fluval. And then the touchy part is getting the water level halfway up the lava rock. And I think the idea is so that, they start to grow root down into the nutrient and not just because when you get them, these are, I forgot, I should mention. The main reason I did this is because they're tissue cultures.
Oh, they're like somebody born without an immune system.
Exactly. So they're more sensitive. So I'm doing this. Alex recommended actually 3 months of this before putting them in. Now you can see they're just really gently laying on top of here because there's not only one of these really had any kind of roots to start grabbing onto the substrate. So I'm really just leaving them alone right now. And obviously everyone probably knows boost is so slow, just waiting for roots to come on. And then you'll see these little clumps that are charcoal. That's because what you probably want to do is, these are the springtails I bought, and they come in compost, but they a lot of times come in that charcoal medium. So the easiest way, and I thought of you, EJ. I think I mentioned a couple weeks ago, because I have been trying to feed them to the betta as well. So, and I know you're the live culture master. So, but really for the springtails, you just put a little bit of yeast in there or a little bit of fish food, keep it moist, and they grow. I don't know if you're able to see them, but they're in here. And what they do is just, they take care of your mold.
There's a peppermint oil also helps with mold as well.
Oh, okay. Garlic too, they said.
Yeah, peppermint oil. I actually ordered some. It comes with a little dropper.
Yeah, I just wonder how that's fine for the plant. Just put it in the water source, or?
Well, I mean, just around the. I just sort of like kind of put it in with the water a bit.
Okay.
And usually along the sides because that's where the mold grows first.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then another thing they say for people is to use, and I've stuck to this so far, it's a little bit hard to get a nutrient level because you don't want to burn them. And there's a little bit of debate whether you want to feed them foliarily, through the leaves or not. So you want to use distilled water, I guess, or if you don't, you want to follow up the next day and probably spray them with distilled so that the calcium deposits don't build up on their leaves.
Is that with just the buse?
Actually, as I said it, I was thinking the same thing. I'm not sure if they recommend that for all or just boost.
I'll be honest with you. I've got hard water. When I set up my immersed stuff, I grew Luigia. What's that Spanish creeping clover thing? Dwarf hairgrass, Monte Carlo, even Java fern for a little bit. But when I kind of forgot about Java fern, so that dried up.
But just tap.
Yeah, I kind of used some of the old sand that was mixed with the, like when I took apart an aquarium, I used like some of the old sand that was mixed with the dirt. I just sort of used that. I kind of lined it with a little bit of gravel. Um, and then I actually took a spray bottle of old aquarium water.
Yes, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. And I mean, that worked. Honestly, I didn't spend any money except for the plastic containers.
Yeah, it's probably an extra precaution for
You are
because
dealing with the tissue cultures, though.
that and it being boost, I think,
Yeah.
growing so slow.
I haven't tried. I haven't tried growing buse, so I'll take
So I
your
got
word
one of
for
those
it.
like bottles. They're real nice. They work under. They put pressure into the water bottle, and instead of just being a normal pump, you just kind of hold it, and it keeps shooting a really fine mist. If people don't know about those, I found they're really nice.
Mhm.
But anyhow, I hope this wasn't super boring. And
No. Well, I mean, get on Discord so I can start harassing you about some of that creeping Jenny. But thank you for coming up. I
oh,
appreciate it.
no problem. Be glad to I want to bet it, so I'll send them in. Figure something out.
Yeah. What kind of beta did you say he was? A plaquette, Veiltail? What was he?
He's a Galaxy Koi Placat. Yeah. Um,
Plaquette?
his colors aren't I think probably for as expensive as he was, but ultimately doesn't matter to me because he's very cool.
Yeah.
And I do like the placat. They can get around more and stuff. And
Yeah.
but he's definitely he was shy at first, but once he got, I think the springtails taught him what live food was, and I
Yeah.
tried him a day in the setup with the um, shrimp, and he was relentless against
Yeah.
even the biggest ones. So
Yeah. Plaquettes are not going to do well unless the shrimp have like really good hiding places, and even then, he,
yeah,
he'll move
You
fast.
won't have you won't have babies. They'll eat up all the babies.
Yeah, no, but as he gets bigger, he'll even harass the bigger ones. I've the fast moving fish, the plaquettes tend to be very predator. I don't know. I'm I just yeah. Okay, I understand. You should do those. Get him some scuds, man. He'll have so much fun.
yeah. I thought about that because I remembered you mentioned your one in a smaller tank just hunting because yeah, he seems to really enjoy that hunting stuff down.
Yeah, leaf
Um,
mulch would help
Hmm.
break out some of that algae too, because it'll get more fungus
what
going
was
in
that,
there.
Fatherfish?
Yeah, leaf
Leaf
mulch,
mulch.
and you
Oh,
actually might keep your shrimp alive too.
okay. There are some leaves down, catapa leaves at least I got.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, get some oak leaf. If you can collect some wild leaf from a stream or a pond, that'll bring more culture in.
Yeah. If you
You
do
can
too
build the
many
culture.
catappa leaves, they'll foul the water because they disintegrate so quickly.
okay, so like you're not big on catapa then.
Oh,
So
I do use catappa. They're lovely, but you have to understand that if you use a
You use
lot
a
of
lot
it,
of
water.
okay, yeah, there's two in there now.
Yeah.
Uh,
So with if you want like to have like a whole ground of leaf litter,
yeah.
um, don't do all catappa leaves. Trust me, I learned the hard way.
Okay.
Yeah,
Surprising.
mulberry, oak, any of the nut trees.
Mulberry, magnolia.
Okay, great. Good. I'll make a list on what the different deterioration rates are of different
Right.
leaves. I didn't
Yeah,
realize that catapa was
try to get some wild culture.
yeah.
That'll kickstart that system.
Yeah, it's not ready for it's so temporary. I would have gone your route, Father Fish, but
Yeah.
it's not really set up for that. It's set up to be able to move when I move. So it's not a full on Father Fish system for
Well,
sure.
your plants are doing wonderfully.
Yeah, they're not too bad. That's why I was kind of shocked that this, nothing's
It
really
just
dying off
it's
rapidly. So
yeah, it's a balance. Um, and the balance is such that you have more nutrients than the existing plants are able to handle. And so algae is stepped in the breach
yeah,
to work on
probably
that
just
nutrient level.
new system growing pains probably.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, guys. I feel like I'm
Well,
probably
thank you.
putting people to sleep.
Happy to meet
Let
you.
me.
Yeah.
Thank
No,
you so much.
I really appreciate you reaching out, and good luck, man. Keep us updated.
I will, and take care of yourself, Father Fish. We're a little worried about you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, bye bye. Good night,
Take
all.
care for the guys. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was chaotic there. I'm so glad that you brought us all back into focus. Thank you.
It was getting out of hand. And there have been so many funny and interesting comments in the chat that
Yeah, I
I
haven't been able to keep up.
gotta let it go. Well, everybody deals with it. So,
Yeah.
wave maker for surface agitation. No, it's more than you need. A sponge filter, the bubbles from a sponge filter, is more than adequate.
I kind of broke a rule. I have a couple of canister filters for surface agitation.
Well, you know, for big tanks, they're really very helpful.
Yeah.
I used them. I used them in all of my big tanks. If I did not have a sump, I would use canisters
Mm-hmm.
because it gives you good flow. And
I mean,
in a big tank, you need it.
I still use sponge filters. It's literally a wave surface agitation, and I put in some sponge filters in there, so it's like an extra sponge filter. And then
Yeah.
when I clean it out every, like, I don't know, 3 months or so, I have a bunch of either have a bunch of baby shrimp or a bunch of baby scuds, or both.
We had an interesting conversation on Discord this week about surface agitation in saltwater tanks.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, there are two different approaches, basically. One is a gravel plenum approach,
Oh, that one, yeah.
and the other is a deep sand bed, usually miracle mud with deep sand or crushed coral. And they both work very differently and have different issues. I was commenting about two people who were very good friends. John Coleman, who was the curator at Shedd Aquarium in the 70s, which is when I met him, and Brian Green, who had one of the largest coral farms in the 80s and 90s, and continued that until about 5 years ago. Anyway, they ran two completely different kinds of systems. John spent a lot of his time traveling the world collecting, and he wound up in Italy collecting in the Mediterranean, and was able to get involved with a system in Monaco, I think, in France, that used plenums with a deep gravel.
Yeah, I heard that they were really useful for, I mean, I think they were first put together really well for ponds or larger bodies of water. That's
Well, they were used in public aquariums.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the origin. They were developed throughout Europe eventually, but John brought that back to Shedd,
Mm-hmm.
and he retired from there, moved to Florida. I got to know him for the second time after he moved to Florida. I met him at Shedd, and then 10 years later, met him again in Florida, and was living a couple of miles from him. So we got to be good, close friends. Went on collecting trips and the like. The other one was Brian Green. Now, Brian got involved early on with GARF, the Geothermal Research Facility in Iowa or Idaho, Iowa, I think, that was built over a thermal vent. So it was able to maintain a stable water temperature in the high 70s. And they developed a coral farm that was remarkable for its unique practices. They designed very early on a deep substrate based on bringing uh, bacterial culture in from literally all over the world. Mud, they called it miracle mud, and it's still available. You can still find it. It's the very best bacterial culture probably available anywhere. It's better than anything natural. Anyway, they built that. They originally did plenums and then discovered that based on the system they were developing, the plenum was irrelevant. It didn't do anything. Now, with gravel, it serves a definite role. With sand, it serves no role at all. So the biochemistry of these two systems are remarkably different from each other.
Yeah, I remember when the first time I got involved in one of your live streams is because I was doing a ton of research on these Plemen systems. And it was part of the reason was because I was wondering if I could do a blackwater system with a plenum. And, based on the conversation you and I had, because I didn't want to do a blackwater system with anything but sand. It was there. Yeah, I kind of threw that out of if I wanted to keep with sand, there was just no other way. I couldn't do the plenum system.
Well, that's right, because the sand works its way down into it and fills it, no matter what you put in there.
Yeah.
And you can use a landscaping cloth, and the sand will still work through it because it's so fine. The particulate sand is so fine it works its way through, and it'll solidify the plenum. Now with gravel, that's not the case. With gravel, you can maintain it, but as a result, these are two completely different, completely unique environments that have little or nothing to do with each other. They operate by different rules. The biology is different. They're just and here I was. I had two very good friends who lived 5 miles away from each other, both of whom deeply dedicated on a professional level to these two completely unique systems, both doing extraordinary things with saltwater. It was quite an experience.
What environment would work best with a Plemen system, and what environment would work best with the sand system? Like, is there a type of environment that would thrive in one over the other? Does that make sense?
No, you're saying are there natural environments that are going to be more effective in a plenum?
Yeah.
No, the answer is no. And the reason is a plenum is not a natural system. It's an unnatural system. It's in effect a high-tech system.
Okay. So if you want to say natural,
it does not exist in nature.
Okay. I think what made people really, if you can hear me, I think what made people more interested in the Plemen system is Plenum.
Plenum. P-L-E-N-U-M. Plenum.
Okay. Let's just get this out there. I really suck at pronouncing things. All right, good. Now we can move on. I think what people got really interested in plenum is, first of all, there's a lot of scientists who swear by it. And second of all,
actually there are two.
What?
There are two.
There's this Kevin Novak guy.
Yeah, he's not a scientist, though.
Okay. But he's saying he's a doctor. Okay.
I know, but he's not published.
Oh, he's not a scientist.
No, he's not.
I used to work in the chemistry department for a research facility for Dr. James Nee. We were conducting experiments on superconductors and trying to make a magnetic system that was low energy. I mean, but anyways, yeah, when I was working for him, he told me that was the difference between a doctor and a scientist, was you had to be published in a scientific journal and you had to have your peers critique it, try to tear it apart.
That's right. That's right.
You could not be faint of heart.
Right. Yeah, he's been challenged on that by a number of people,
but not formally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, what I mean is like not in the scientific published environment.
No.
Social media doesn't count. I'm sorry.
Well, that's true, but that's the only level. I don't want to get into it too deeply.
Yeah.
The issue with his system is essentially the same issue with the early dirted tanks. And that is that they last about a year and then they fail. And basically that's what happens with Novak's system. After about a year, they fail. Now, they can fail in one of two ways. They can fail by burning out all of the nutrients, or they can fail by converting to a deep substrate system. And it can go in either direction.
How does it convert?
By detritus sifting down over a period of a year and building up, creating a humic level where that plenum was, which creates a deep substrate dirted tank. So it becomes a dirted deep substrate tank. And if you have he's been adding sand of late, so that really creates precisely that environment.
Huh. I may have to go out and come back in, Father Fish, because I'm getting an echo and usually I have to reset it. But so I apologize that I have to leave in the middle of the conversation, but I didn't know about the sand. It is kind of like he's copying you, but in his system that works. It's weird.
I know.
All right, let me log out.
Well, hold on a minute. We got 46 people here. We got a lot of people with it. Yeah, let's keep going for a while.
No, I'm trying to get this
I was going to shut it down, but we'll keep going for another half hour. So if you want to go out and come back.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll do that.
All right. All right. Right. There she goes. Okay. ADHD. Nice to see. I don't know if you're still here. She is getting that. Okay. Let me do this. Let me pull the chat down to the bottom. Yeah, Aaron, that's true. The Undergravel Filter Brigade. Now, my friend John Coleman, was very much committed to undergravel filters in his salt tanks. I mean, he learned how to maintain that system. He never got into coral, however. He was not able to, because it was not able to maintain the kind of water quality. And he tried to do that and failed. The reason that the Italian system worked was because it was an open system. They were bringing water in from the Mediterranean, a couple of percent a day. So it was like, 50, 60% water change every week. Which, here we are. What's going on here? She's frozen, I think.
No, I'm
There we
not.
go.
You and I
There
just doing stuff.
We're both hitting the same button at
Yes.
the same time is what's happening. We
Okay.
do that a lot.
How is my sound, guys? Is it better or worse? So just give me that.
It's just fine for me. It's not-
Yeah, but it's not about you. It's about our audience. Belted Butters got peacock gudgeons. Nice.
Yeah, they're available at our store. Peacock gudgeon is a Florida native. I've caught them wild. It may be invasive, but I've caught them wild in Florida. Very pretty fish. The gudgeons get pretty good size though. I had one. The biggest one I ever had was a foot long. It was a monster. It was called a sleeper goby.
Oh wow.
Neat fish.
I think they've got a few at Ohio Fish Rescue that put a lot of.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Someday I need to get out there.
Ohio Fish Rescue.
Yeah, someday.
It looks like a fun place, that's for sure.
I think. There was also one in Florida that I never got to, doing basically the same thing, except his was really a personal collection and not so much a rescue.
Yeah.
But he has remarkable fish. And big tanks that he built, like 5 and 10,000 gallon tanks.
Does he have an accent? Does he have like a European accent?
Yeah, he is French, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I've seen his stuff.
Neat guy. I've talked to him a few times. He's very much his own person. He bought a piece of property, I don't know, maybe 10 acres or so in a southwest Florida, down below Naples, I think, or near Naples. That's all like wooded area, and he's built a home there, and this facility that's a hodgepodge of tanks, but amazingly big ones. And he's setting it up. His idea is to set it up as a private zoo or private aquarium.
Yeah.
And he's well on his way to achieving that. Whether he'll ever be able to really be a big draw remains to be seen. But he certainly has animals that are worth seeing. Melted Butter is getting some gudgeons.
Yeah.
Oh, I am dying about these gouramis, though.
I know, the licorice gouramis, Kevin. You get all the good stuff. How does that work?
Yeah, I need to get some.
Yeah.
That's really what I need to do.
He sold
I've done it before. I spawned them once, 25 years ago. I spawned them. Did not get babies.
You spawned them, no such luck.
Yeah, nothing hatched.
Well, I found more baby Formosa. I have a ton of pygmy sunfish and a ton of baby scarlet batis. I lost my male though. He got an infection and he just couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Well,
you got a lot of young.
Yeah, I got a lot of young. I'd like to get another male though, like a really big, colorful one. But I'm trying to wait for the babies to grow up because they're getting big. They're getting up there. But I've got all these little breeding projects, and once I move them out the door, then I want to try my hand at other things.
AquariumScience.com.
Oh, Kevin's sticking his tongue out at me. Come on, man. Salt can be done relatively simply, but if it goes wrong, you're out so much more money. Yeah. All right, I've got like 40 or 50 baby scarlet baddest. Like, I've lost count how many I have. Hey, first class, you get me some of that creeping Jenny. I'll get you some of those scarlet baddest. Hey, we can make a trade here. Okay, so I'm glad we keep going. I hope people still find this stuff interesting, but I really want to kind of ask you and sort of everybody else about this turtle pond build, this more or less this 15 by 20, it's going to be more closer to 12 by 20 pond build. I was in knee deep full of muck, and in this muck, cleaning out this muck, trying to find all the baby turtles. There was dragonfly larvae. These things were gross and disgusting. You know, when I rebuild this turtle, you know what, Melted Butter? That's a solid question, because I also bred flagfish, and it was pretty hot in that patio pond.
Do they need high temps?
Yeah.
Well, it's a Florida native, so the water gets up into the mid to high 80s in the dead of summer. So yeah, they do well. They are in the same family as the pupfish.
Yeah, before I destroyed the my patio pond, when I say destroyed, I mean turned the water foul. I had so many flagfish babies, and I'm pretty sure those temperatures got up to pretty darn close to 90.
Yeah, the pump is what did it.
Yeah, it was. It was. I learned my lesson. It was painful. It was painful, and they were so pretty.
I know.
They were so pretty. But now I have. Yeah, I have it. It's prettier now. Like I've got it cleaned out. It looks great. I have a hidden sponge filter in there now, because I just want a little bit of agitation until I create like a little bit of a waterfall. But then I put a heater in there. I'm thinking of putting one of my male beta fish in there, and I'm looking at 2 females. I think I could get away with it. I think.
First class, are you talking about the Elisoma, the pygmy sunfish? I have some available right now. The Everglade, we've got about 50 of them.
Oh, you got 50 now.
Well, they're sitting in Florida at Bioaquatics. Abe Golliman is holding them for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I can get him to ship them out.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants them, they're $10 a piece, minimum 5. You get 1 free. So it's 6 for $50.
Yeah.
Plus 25 shipping.
I have 8 that you sent me, and I'm pretty sure 2 or 3 out of the 8 are female, and the rest of them are all males. And I still got like a bunch of babies out of them.
It only takes 1 female.
Yeah.
To get a lot of babies. When I did the pupfish, I had a 40-gallon breeder with 3 males and 1 female.
Mm-hmm.
And when they were finished spawning, there were well over 100 babies.
I'm still getting babies. And so I put the pygmy sunfish, because I wasn't planning on breeding them yet. I put them in my 75. There's a beta fish in there. There's tetras, Rummy nose tetras in there. There's green neon tetras. There's hillstream loaches. There's a mono shrimp that are literally close to 3 inches. There was a lot of predators in there, and yet I still ended up fishing out over 40 babies. So those things are determined to breed.
Well, it's right. All they really need is an environment where the babies are going to be able to find food. And the key to that is the the humic layer of leaf litter.
Uh-huh.
Well, if you get that now, you can't do it right away. You got to build it up gradually. But if you can get that to the point where you've got about an inch of leaf litter across much of the tank, it will have created. If you spend a couple of months getting there, it will have culture in there sufficient to be able to provide food for very, very tiny baby.
I didn't exactly put leaf litter, at least none you could see at the front, but I did put some leaves in the back. And I just put there's a ton of organic stuff in there. And I'm in the middle of rescaping that 75 for one reason or another. I don't want to get into it, but you want to, you know how you know how I told you I put a couple, like maybe 2 Malaysian trumpet snails in there because I'm hoping it will help, mix up the sand and put the humus down and kind of like make, that. But I never saw any of the Malaysian trumpet, and people were telling me, oh, they breed prolifically, and they're you can't get rid of them. They're like pests. I never saw more than 2. But then when I cleaned out all of my 75, I found they're still there. I mean, because it's kind of like half full right now. I'm like redoing some stuff. Like there's like 20 plus large Malaysian trumpet snails started coming out. I had no idea.
Huh.
Yeah. That they've just been in the deep sand substrate the entire time.
That's what they do. That's right. Yeah.
Playing with the humus.
Yeah.
Mixing it up, making a perfect ecosystem, stirring up the soil where it needs to be. So
Right.
Rummy knows tetras, first class fish. Rummy knows tetras.
Green neons and Minnows. Yeah, they are 2 super hardy, really, really pretty fish. And should be pretty easy to spawn. I haven't tried to spawn the neons, but they should not be that difficult.
I haven't tried tetras yet. Honestly, I'm kind of waiting for what I have to grow up because I don't have any more room.
Fanatical's asking if you have bottom feeders.
What does he mean by bottom feeders?
Well, like Cory catfish or algae eaters.
I have a lot of algae eaters. I did have pygmy Corydoras for a while. I thought they were very cute, but what was interesting is that they never came out. And it wasn't like I had predators in the tank. I had 10 of them, and then I believe somebody told me that wasn't enough, and they were more comfortable in a group of 20. So I ended up selling them for, well, I didn't sell them. It was really more of a trade. I got I traded them for a bunch of plants. But what I do have is Autosynclus, and I had 2 Siamese algae eaters. And I had a bunch of Nite snails, and then, well, actually I have like 3 of the zebra ones, but the horned Nite snails, I absolutely love. Fanaticals is asking if they mix up the sand though, the Malaysian trumpet snails.
Only about the top half inch.
The what?
The top half inch.
Yeah. But that was kind of where I wanted it to go. Is I wanted to make that. Yeah. I had cherry shrimp in there, and they kept breeding prolifically. I had a mono shrimp. And they were always trying to breed. Obviously not successful. I had chili rasboras as well, and celestial pearl danios. So I mean, it was kind of like a hodgepodge tank of nanofish and a lot of algae eaters. And then ram's horns just kept breeding out of control. I kept taking the ram's horns out and throw them in the pea puffer tank. I got some mystery snails from you, Fatherfish, and they was kind of cool. They made like little egg nests, but I don't know. I kind of like the smaller snails.
Did they hatch?
What hatched? Oh, the mystery snails? No,
Yeah.
they never hatched.
Huh.
I wasn't sure why, but I've never, like, I didn't do any research. I just sort of threw them in my Daphnia tank, and they immediately started, because there's like a lot of other stuff in there. They immediately laid eggs, but I don't.
Huh.
Yeah. I guess
They may be in there. They could be in there.
My
They could
Daphnia
be in
tank?
there. Yeah,
No.
they're tiny for a while.
The eggs never. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think they dried out.
I guess that's possible.
Yeah, I don't think they. I think they dried out actually.
Could be.
So my patio pond that First Class Fish wanted me to finish on was, I'm going to put a beta fish in there with two, because the water's nice and clear now. It's not nearly as hot, so I put a heater in there. I'm going to put a nice my big peacock beta fish in there, and I'm going to throw in a couple of small females. I'm going to be picky about it because I want to see. I want to see what happens with the offspring. And I'm going to see if I'm just going to see if they breed, and I'm not going to separate them. I'm just going to let, like what I did with the scarlet batis and the elosoma, I'm just going to create a living environment with enough space and see if that works.
Yep, absolutely.
So it will be an experiment, because frankly, I'm the laziest person ever when it comes to breeding. I don't want to catch all the fish. I just wanted to let it be, and then boom, babies.
That's the idea.
Yeah, that is the idea. So the turtle pond that I'm designing, because I was in, kind of like waist deep full of muck. I got a really good idea about what kind of environment, even though we're building the pond again from scratch. Like, we're completely removing all of the bugs and all the stuff. It still tells me what the environment is going to be when it starts to get established again. And so I know there's a lot of dragonflies, which makes sense because there's a lot of mosquitoes. It's a atrium that is heavily shaded, and there's going to be a lot of mosquitoes, and apparently there's a lot of dragonflies and not a lot of birds, actually.
Yeah, you're going to need probably frogs.
I was thinking about that. I want to kind of stick to as close to native species, because it's for the kids,
Have the kids collect leopard frogs and bring them in.
Okay. Yeah, I can put the call out for that. My daughter has caught a bullfrog almost, like, when we found it. It was like at the Arboretum. She caught a bullfrog that was well over 18 inches long, like actually 2 foot. Yeah, and this is the same kid that literally caught a alligator gar, 3.5-foot alligator gar with her hands too. So
right, saw that. Botanicals asking if you've seen any newts.
I was reading about newts. I think there's one that's native to the area. I'd love to get a newt in there as well. Now, keep in mind, we also have red-eared sliders, but this is a huge pond build, and there's going to be a lot of plants. I was thinking also, I mentioned I was going to get gambusia or mosquito fish, but then I realized there's so many other things that eat mosquitoes, and gambusia doesn't play nice with anybody else.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, don't put gambusia in there.
Yeah.
It'll mess up being able to do anything else.
Yeah, so I was thinking, actually, what about golden top minnows?
I think it's a great choice. They're pretty. They get pretty. They get big. They get
Mhm.
3 to 4 inches.
Yeah.
They're very colorful, and they stay at the top, so
Mhm.
you'll be able to see them.
Yeah, the kids will be able to see them.
And of course, any of the small sunfish.
Yeah. Um.
That makes it a native pond too, which is really important to do.
Mhm.
For kids to understand these are animals that are living as our neighbors.
Right. Exactly. Um. I would like to put a sunfish or two in there because I know they'll love to eat the dragon larvae because it's just a balance, the dragon nymph or what have you. But I was researching, first of all, I'd have to literally go and catch, nobody's selling them. I'd have to literally go and catch or fish and catch these sunfish. I'm not quite sure how to do it, but I can try. I mean, but uh, I don't want him to get too big. The most popular one is the blue, but what do you think about the pumpkin seed or the long ear?
Yeah, the pumpkin seed is real colorful. The long hair gets a little bigger, I think.
Okay.
Pumpkin seed would be great.
All right. Putting the call out. Anybody knows where I can get some pumpkin seed? So that's the call out, guys. Hey, first class fish, I have a bunch of beautiful red ram's horns, by the way. I specifically kind of like started breeding them, just them, keeping the lines bright red. It's easy to do when you have a lot of tanks. But that's my story, y'all. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm a little tired, but I've had basically a good day. I'm worried about my arm because it's getting swollen and hard.
Yeah.
I had a a needle in there for about 5 days, and it was painful the whole time. And it's now got a little bit of heat in it and a little bit of swelling. So I guess I'll have to wait and see what it's going to look like in the morning. Hopefully it'll be better.
You got to promise if it looks worse, you call somebody.
Well, I don't know what they would do. Probably wrap it. Put a tourniquet on it.
Compression?
I don't know. Yeah, compression. I could do that. I don't know that that's the right thing to do.
I don't know either. I
don't know if it's a clot or if it just it feels like it might be a clot because it's hard.
It might be a clot. We'll find out. What's this about Aquashella, y'all?
I don't know when it's coming out. There'll be an Aquashella in Texas coming out.
Well, no, it's already it's already going on. Yeah, it came and went in August. That was the same day I had to pick up my daughter, literally an hour from there. But
that's right. Yeah.
But instead of going to Aquashella, we caught a couple of alligator gar in a mud puddle. So.
Yeah, maybe you'll call the hospital and talk to a nurse.
Talk to a nurse.
What they say.
Yeah. If it's a blood clot, if you're telling me it feels like a blood clot.
I don't know. I've never had one.
Okay.
So I don't know what that's like.
Oh, it's October in Chicago. Gotcha. All right.
Okay. All right, guys. I am taking pills for a blood thinner. I'm on blood thinners. Okay, we're down to it.
Yeah. We might as well sign off. I want to say on Sunday with Mary Page. You guys are still up?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I think plan on, if you don't mind, having me up for a few minutes because I can show the patio pond where the update on it.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. And go from there. But I'm going to try to find a female beta crown tail.
Nice.
And see if she'll like when I say crown tail, I mean like really almost like half moon crown tail. And then see if she mates with my half moon, very feathery rose tail beta fish, and see if we'll get some sort of interesting.
Right. Mermaid's chorus. Hello, hello.
Yeah. Mermaids.
All right, guys. God bless you all.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to be with you. It's been a fun 2 hours. We've had a good time, been through a lot of stuff. Usually do. First Class Fish, thank you so much for showing us what you're doing. We're excited about it.
Yes.
Want to keep and stay involved.
Yeah. No, give us updates about the abuse as well. I think what you're doing with growing immersed is very, very cool. And let me, keep sharing, man. You did great. You didn't take up too much time. You were awesome. It was perfecto.
Yeah, we can. And any of you who have not yet been on Discord, be sure to get over there and become part of the conversation. It's a real community over there of hundreds of people who are dealing with all kinds of fish issues on a daily basis. So, bless you all. Thank you, EJ.
Thank you.
Delighted to be with you all. We'll be back tomorrow evening at 6 with Mary Page.
Yeah.
Bye for now.